These are the Neo Buds Pro 2 from Edifier, a set of wireless earbuds with noise cancellation and high-res audio. How good are they? Let's find out. Before I start, a quick disclaimer, this video is sponsored by Edifier. They did send me these for free, however, this does not impact my review, my judgment, which remains unbiased and objective. The Neo Buds Pro 2 are priced at around $130, and I think for that price, you do get a lot of bang for your buck. These are really feature-packed, and they have a couple of things that you normally only find in higher-priced earbuds. They have active noise cancellation, they have dual drivers, they have a total of 8 microphones for call quality, they support spatial audio or immersive audio with head tracking, and they support high-res audio with LDAC and LHDC. However, for you to actually make use of that high-res audio, your phone needs to support it first. Then the music needs to be high-res, and the streaming app that you're using also has to support it. Let's start with the fit and comfort, and I found that these buds were actually quite comfortable and very lightweight to the point where you barely feel them in your ear. They also come with 7 different ear tips, so you're bound to find the ones that fit your ear, which was quite nice. They also stayed quite put in my ear, and I never felt that they're gonna fall out or come loose. In terms of controls, you control these with tap gestures. Unfortunately, it's a bit limited over there. There's only a double tap and a triple tap. The good thing there, you can customize what the double tap and the triple tap does in the app, and you'll see that in just a bit on both the left and the right earbud. However, I would have liked if there was a touch and hold or even a swipe gesture for volume control. Nonetheless, despite being somewhat limited, the gestures do work quite well in my testing. Now, in terms of noise cancellation, I was actually quite impressed with how well the noise cancellation works. Now, do keep in mind, we are talking about earbuds that cost $130, so it's not really fair to compare them to earbuds way out of their price range, like the Bose QC Earbuds Ultra, which in my opinion have the best noise cancellation in the market. Those, however, do cost about 2 or 2.5 times more than the Edifiers. But is their noise cancellation, which is again the best in the market, 2.5 times better than the Edifiers? Absolutely not. I think it's about 20 or 25% better, which means you get a lot of value at $130. They also do have transparency mode or aware mode. It's not very natural, but it's pretty decent, and you do have in the app the ability to customize the aware mode to focus on voice or background sounds. So now let me walk you through the app to show you how that looks like. When you launch the app, you get 3 different levels of noise cancellation. You get high noise cancellation, you get medium noise cancellation, and you get low noise cancellation as well. You can also select ambient mode, and this is where you can shuffle between voice enhancement, which kind of enhances how your voice is picked up and balanced, and background sound, which focuses more on picking up the sounds in your background. There's also a wind reduction mode, which is quite nice to have, and I tested this with a fan, and I found it did a fairly good job at reducing the sound that is picked up by the microphones, that sound of wind. And you can also turn off noise cancellation completely. Moving on, you got 2 different sound modes. You've got music or game, which uses low latency, and then there's spatial audio. And as you can see, it can track your head. You need to calibrate that. Let me calibrate that again. There you go. And you can see a 3D representation of your head and how it is being tracked, which was quite interesting, but not my cup of tea. And then here is where you have the different EQs. As I said, by default, you have classic and dynamic. But then when you go to customize, this is where you can play around with the EQ, and by default you get the frequency of 100 Hz, 2000, 4000, and 8000, but you can also manually dial it to whatever frequency you want and do whatever adjustments you want, which was nice to have if you want to customize the sound you're liking. Now, if you go into settings and control settings, this is where you define what you want the gestures to do. And as I said, there's only double tap and triple tap, and you can set each one to either control the media or the volume or shuffle between the sound modes. What's nice is that if you use it for sound control, for example, you can decide which modes you want it to shuffle through instead of it shuffling through everything. So you can select high noise cancellation, medium noise, and ambient sound, for example, and you have independent control of the left and the right earbud, so you can set a different set of shortcuts for each earbud. Another nice thing that these have is wearing detection, so you can disable that of course over here, or have it pause audio, for example, when you take the earbuds out. You can also adjust the tap sensitivity from low, medium, and high, which is something that's nice in case you feel that they're not registering quite accurately your touch gestures. One last thing that I found quite interesting, which you usually don't see in earbuds, is soothing sounds here on top right corner. And this is a collection of sounds often found on sleep buds that might help you concentrate or sleep or meditate or take your mind off of things, which I thought was pretty interesting. Now let's talk about sound quality. I'm not an audiophile, so I cannot give you in-depth analysis on the frequency responses and the sound quality there. But also, if you're an audiophile, you're probably not looking at those earbuds. However, what I can say is I really enjoyed how these sound. As I said, they are dual drivers. So you have a 10mm driver focused on the bass and another driver that's focused on the mids and the highs. And I think they sound really nice. They do have some punch in the lows. The bass, I found it to be not too overpowering. And there is a decent amount of clarity in the mids and the highs. And what's even better is that they do have an equalizer in the app, which allows you to do a great deal of customizations. By default, there's only 2 preset EQs. There's classic and dynamic, but if you go to custom, there's a lot of customizations there, and you can even dial in manually the frequency you want to play with. So I found that quite interesting. I was less impressed with the spatial audio. It works, but I found it was a bit too pronounced to the point where if you turn your head to one side, you kind of lose all audio from this earbud and all the audio seems to be coming from the other one. It does work, and again, it's impressive at this price point. Personally, I'm not a fan, but if you enjoy spatial audio, you might like that one. In terms of battery life, you get 5.5 hours with ANC off and another 16.5 with a case. But with ANC on, you only get about 4 hours of battery life and an additional 12 hours from the case itself, which is a bit on the low end of things. However, it does support fast charging, and a 15-minute charge will give you about 2 hours of listening time. Now let's see how those 8 microphones sound like in the call quality tests. So this is what the Neo Buds Pro 2 sound like in a quiet environment. You're listening to the audio from the microphones on these buds. Now let me turn on a loud vacuum cleaner so that you can see how well they cancel out the sound of a loud vacuum. And this is what the Edifier Neo Buds Pro 2 sound like with a very loud vacuum running in the background. So again, this is what they sound like with a loud vacuum running in the background. Now for the final test, let's head outside to see how they would perform in a real-life noisy environment. So this is what the Neo Buds 2 Pro from Edifier sound like on a busy street. As you can see, there are cars passing by all around me. There's a highway right below me, and there are cars passing by from all directions. And this is what they sound like in a real-life loud situation. Let me switch to the iPhone's camera or microphone so you hear how loud it actually is right now. So this is how loud the environment actually is with all the cars passing by. So there you have it, and as you can see, there's a little bit of wind as well. So let me know in the comments what you thought about the call quality performance of these buds. Don't know about you, but I thought that was pretty impressive in a noisy environment. Call quality has always been quite challenging for earbuds. Even earbuds that cost 2 or 3 times more than these sometimes struggle with getting a clear call quality in a noisy environment. I thought these performed exceptionally well, especially for their price range. So here are my thoughts on the Edifier Neo Buds Pro 2. I really like them. I was thoroughly impressed. Now, there are a few things that I wish they had. For starters, there's no multi-point connectivity and no wireless charging on the case. But then again, the Bose QC Earbuds Ultra, which cost over 2 times more, also don't have multi-point or wireless charging. So I would have liked to have them, but I'd be more forgiving missing these features on a $130 pair of earbuds than on a $300 pair of earbuds. I also would have liked if I had a little bit more gesture and control, specifically if we had a swipe gesture to control volume, so swiping up and down, rather than only having double tap and triple tap, but that's not a deal breaker. And I also would have liked if it had a little bit more battery life. More importantly, I really liked how they sound, how they fit. The call quality was quite impressive, and the noise cancellation for the price was also quite impressive. So if you're looking for a mid-range budget earbuds, I definitely would recommend looking at the Edifier Neo Buds Pro 2. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about the Edifier Neo Buds Pro 2. I will put links in the description for the product pages on these. Make sure to check those out to see the price at the moment you're watching this review. Only a couple of days ago, this went down from $130 to about $110, so make sure to check that link to see the latest prices. And as always, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.